NEP 2020 for higher education, National Education Policy 2020, which is the first national education policy of 21st century in India. So what does NEP 2020 envision for higher education? Let's talk. Quality universities and colleges. Higher education contributes towards sustainable livelihoods and economic development of the country. Quality higher education, therefore, must aim to develop good, thoughtful, well-rounded individuals. This must enable personal accomplishment and enlightenment, constructive public engagement, and productive contribution to the society. It must enable an individual to study one or more specialized areas of interest and also develop character, ethical and constitutional values, scientific temper, creativity, spirit of service, and 21st century capabilities. So the major problems currently being faced by most of the institutions: fragmented higher education system, less emphasis on development of cognitive skills and learning outcomes. There's very less emphasis on assessment of learning outcomes pragmatically. Rigid separation of disciplines between arts and sciences, between curricular, extracurricular, and so on. There is limited access, particularly in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas, with less number of higher educational institutes that teach in local languages of the mother tongue. Limited teacher and institutional autonomy. Major problems currently being faced, few more are inadequate mechanism for merit-based career management and progression. There has to be a mechanism for this purpose. Lesser emphasis on research at most universities and colleges. Lack of competitive peer-reviewed research funding across discipline. And if ineffective regulatory system that can regulate the quality education for all. Large number of affiliating universities that actually result in low standards of undergraduate education. So the vision for HEIs in NEP 2020 includes large number of universities and colleges with more HEIs, higher education institutes across India, that offer medium of instruction in local or Indian languages. More multidisciplinary undergraduate education, faculty and institutional autonomy, revamping curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment for enhanced student learning outcome and learning experiences. Integrity of faculty and institutional leadership positions through merit appointments and career progression based on teaching research and the service by the faculty. The establishment of National Research Foundation, called as NRF, to fund or to provide funding outstanding peer-reviewed research. The governance of these higher educational institutes by highly qualified independent boards having academic and administrative autonomy. Light but tight regulation by a single regulator for higher education. Increased access, equity, and inclusion for all. That's very important. Increased access, equity, and inclusion in terms of quality education and research for all. Scholarships by private and philanthropic universities for disadvantaged and underprivileged students. Online education and open distance learning ODL and all infrastructure, necessary infrastructure and learning materials to be accessible for a greater impact in the learning outcome of students in higher educational institutes. Thank you.